How's it going, guys? This is going to be a quick video on how I went from benching 60 kg to 100 kg, which is 2 plates for any Americans out there, 225, in around 3 to 6 months. I'd say it was 4 months I did it, and I did it because I got everything right from the start. I had my calorie surplus down, I had a lot of other things which I'm going to talk about in this guide, but I think this is an important video to make because this is all I pretty much wanted to work towards when I first started. All I wanted was the 2-plate bench, and once I hit it, I felt fucking amazing. So I think it's only right I give you a guide on exactly how I did it, how I would go about doing it if I had to start again, and even what I'm using now to go from 100, I'm 115 kg bench to 140. That's 3 plates, the next milestone. It's going to be a little bit harder, but I've got a good strategy to get there, and I'll share that with you now. But it all comes down to your first 5 kind of basics, which will be benching 1 to 2 times per week. So you can't do this without benching often, right? Now, I'm going to say when you're just getting started, 2 times per week is, the sweet spot. 3 times is going to be overtraining. 2 times you can get away with at the start just because of how new you are to training. Like, you haven't really put your body through enough stress to the point where you're going to be warranting overtraining and you won't be able to recover. You can get away with training on Mondays, benching loads, and then going again on maybe Friday or Saturday. That's kind of what I used to do, and to be honest, it works. I'm at a point now where I don't think I could do that just because I'm pushing heavier weight, and it's actually more beneficial for me to recover by training once a week as opposed to trying to train everything twice a week. You get stronger quicker that way, and that's kind of how I'm going to get to 140. So that's your basics. After that, you want to make sure you're in a calorie surplus. So don't even try this if you haven't got your diet down, because I'm telling you, the calorie surplus is the key to this. This is what makes you feel like you're on steroids. I mean, when I first did this, I think month 1 I was doing 60 kg, which is 1 plate for 10 reps. And then within, by the end of the month, I was doing 80 kg, a 20 kilo increase for 10 reps. Like, the progress was just scary. It was that quick because I was just eating more. I had more energy. And as a result, I was getting stronger quicker. And it just compounds. It goes and goes and goes. So make sure that you have your diet down. You have the calorie surplus locked in. I've got videos on that. So obviously just watch the bulking video. That will tell you how to set it up. But once you've got that in, you will start to see progress fly. It'll be very, very quick, and I think you'll be pretty impressed about how quickly the numbers will go up. So that's the importance of a calorie surplus. Now, good sleep is something I neglected. I always talk about this, but remember, you can only grow from what you recover from, and the only time you're going to recover is in your sleep. So if your goal is to grow more muscle, we need that 8-hour sleep because we're going to get more deep sleep, and that's going to result in more muscle growth, which means you'll get stronger quicker. Also, if you've trained on 6 hours sleep, you'll know that you just feel weaker, you feel lethargic, it's harder to get in the zone and lift heavy. So just really set yourself up for success with good sleep. Now, tracking every lift, this is, fundamental. If you don't do this, you're not going to get far. What I use is an app called Strong Plus on the App Store. It's really, really simple, and I literally just log in to bench press, and I can put what I did this week, and then it will show me when I go next week what I did the previous, and I'll keep trying to beat that. So I always suggest a 6 to 8 rep range, right? So let's say we do 60 kg for 7 reps. Now I want to hit the rep range 8, so I'm going to do that again next week, 60 for 8. Now once I've hit 8, we're going to go to 62.5. So I get 62.5 for 6, then I'm going to do that next week until I get 8, and so on and so on. And you keep doing that, and you have that record. It becomes very, very easy. It also becomes fun. It becomes like a game because you keep trying to beat it every single week. And then when you keep doing that, you get more confidence, you get more motivated. It all fucking works together. So make sure that you're tracking every lift. If you don't do this, 1, you don't have the advantage of the motivation side of things. You can't see your progress, so it's hard to stay motivated. And 2, unless you've got a photographic memory, you're going to forget things. And as a result, that's going to slow down progress because there'll be weeks where you do the same thing or you don't progressively overload, and that's a week wasted of progress. So like I said, if you want to do this quickly, in 3 to 6 months, you need to have the tracking system down, have that with a good sleep, calorie surplus, and be benching, and you're already ahead of everyone. You're going to get there very quickly. Now, let's take it a step further. So there's going to come a point where it's not just linear. You're not just going to be going up and up and up and up progress. That wouldn't work. So how do we push the limits and how do we break those plateaus? Because it'll be like a graph. We'll go like this, and eventually we'll stagnate. How do we push through that and keep going up? Well, we use a training partner to our advantage. So I always talk about this. It's not about how much you can lift. Sometimes it's about how much you can lower. So there will come a point where you may hit the same as you did last week pushing up. But there's still a progression structure that we can implement, and that is using negative reps. So what you can do is get your training partner to actually lift the bar up once you've failed, once you've hit failure, you can't do any more. And then what your goal is now is to pump out as many reps as possible while slowly lowering the bar. Because you'll be able to do that even if you've hit failure. Just because the positive is done doesn't mean the negative isn't. And the reason why this works is because, well, put your 2 fingers on your chest right now. Come from up here and do that. You'll notice that the chest is contracting. So you're getting those extra reps and you're still progressing because you can grow muscle in both directions. So that's a way you can really start to push the limits and keep getting stronger even if you've hit failure. It's what I call training past failure. And you do that with a training partner. That's why it's really important to have one, especially when you're benching if you want to get there quick. That's what really helped me. However, there were times when I didn't have a training partner. So what I did was drop set. And I mean, I'll be honest, it's probably not the safest thing to do when you're benching because obviously if you fucking go too hard, no one's there to help you. However, what I would say is maybe just go a little bit lighter, start benching the bar until you literally can't do another rep, and that's just going to pump out every single fucking last bit out of the bench, and then you're just going to really be pushing it. If you've trained to failure, if you get to a point where you can't do another rep, then you've done something right, and then as a result, by next week, you should increase in weight. There's no reason why not. Now, the next one is to stretch pre and post workout. I'd say those 5 are probably the most important. This is just one to really take note of because I've made the mistake of not stretching, not warming up my rotator cuff, and as a result, injuring it, which essentially results in me being out of the game for 8 weeks. And that's 8 weeks without progress. It takes time to then get back into the routine. It's a long time. So that's just going to eat into the 6 months you have to get to your 100 kg bench. Always stretch. It's not fun injuring your rotator cuff. Your upper body will suffer because you literally can't do any movement. So make sure that you're stretching, get a resistance band, do these little exercises like this with a 2 kilo plate. Really does well. And it will just go a long way. So that's kind of your basics. Now, this will be easier for some people. Some people might be stronger originally, but I was 5'8" and 60 kg when I started, and I managed to do this. So don't make any excuses. There's no genetics here or anything. Like, you can do this. You just need to kind of master these must-dos. Now, I'll give you a progression structure. So what I want you to do, maybe after this video, is go to the gym, find out your baseline. So what I want you to do is train with a partner, find a weight where you can only complete 8 reps. So find a weight where you can't do 9 reps. Let's say we keep testing it, we keep upping the weight until we get to 60 kg and we can only hit 8 reps. Like, we're pushing for the 9th, but our training partners having to spot us. Now you have your baseline. That's your floor, because you know 60 kg for 8, you can't do any more of that. So you write that down in a tracking system, and you know next week or the next session, we're going to do 62.5. And let's say we get 6 on that. Okay, cool. Next session, we're going to do 62.5 and we're going to aim for 8. Okay, well, sick, we get 8. Let's go 65, and then we get 7 this time. Go for 8, keeps going. And eventually you just have to keep stacking up until you get to 100. Like, it is that simple. So find out your baseline, do that with a training partner, because that's how you're going to really be able to push the limits. You know, if you're doing this yourself, you're not going to go as hard. Download that app I talked about and have that tracking system in place. You'll see your progress week in, week out, and it's really good. And just use the 8 rep threshold as a good indicator. We're not looking to train like a power lifter, all right? Because yes, you'll get strong, but that's not going to grow your muscle. And we're not going to look to train at 12 to 15 reps just because you can't lift as heavy within that rep range. Your cardiovascular system comes in. So honestly, the 6 to 8 rep range is the perfect kind of range just for growing as much muscle as possible and, you know, lifting as heavy weight, because you don't need much cardiovascular endurance to lift for 6 reps. But you can also lift really heavy for that and still grow muscle. So it's the sweet spot. That's what I'd recommend. And essentially, you just got to do this consistently. If you keep doing this consistently, you keep focusing on beating the logbook, every single session you get 1% better, you do an extra rep, you do an extra bit of weight, and you're doing it with the right form, you're getting better. And that should be enough for you. As long as you're getting better and better, you will eventually reach your goal. Make sure you have the prerequisites in place. So you got your surplus, you got your sleep, and you do that. And I swear to God, it is that easy. I'm making this video because I never had this guide. I was so confused. And now I'm giving it to you on a plate. I think this is honestly the best guide out there because I never had this shit. I don't think there is any similar stuff on YouTube, and this will exactly explain what you need to do. So if you can just honestly just save this video, fucking write notes, whatever you need to do, memorize it, and just start implementing, I guarantee you will hit it. And when you do, send me a video. But moving on, there is one exception I want to explain, and it's really, really important. I've learned this pretty late, but it's the deload. So if we're hitting failure and we're doing 2 sessions a week, and we're doing that for 10 weeks, that's going to be 20 sessions, right? 20 sessions operating at 100%. What you'll notice is when it comes to the 8th or 9th week, you're going to start to slow down a little bit. It's actually going to become a little bit harder to up the weight. And then I think what a lot of guys do, including myself back in the day, is push through this and just think it's a phase. Maybe I'm a little bit tired that one day, but what actually is happening is you're chronically tired. It's not that your muscle isn't recovered, because the chest can recover in about 5 to 6 days. That's fine. What isn't recovered is your central nervous system. So remember, we're operating at 100% because we're pushing to failure. That requires a lot from your fucking system. So your spinal cord is firing, the nerves, all of that. And as a result, you just sometimes need to take a week off to recharge. So think of it this way. You got 20 sessions out of those 10 weeks. Now we're going to take 1 week off and we're going to lose 2 sessions. We get 18, all right? It's 2 sessions. It's not going to destroy your progress. It's not a linear thing. You know, you need to take 1 step backwards to go 2 steps forwards. So you take those 2 off. And what you'll notice is when you come back, you'll be so much stronger because you are properly rested. You've taken a whole week of training. You're not lifting any other muscle groups. You're just fully fresh and ready to go. And this will get you stronger far quicker than consistently trying to push it. You know, we all want more, but sometimes less is more. It's quality over quantity. And I truly believe you've got to go 1 step backwards to move 2 steps forwards. It works wonders for me. And I'd recommend it. So on that deload week, take some time to either rest completely from the gym, or if you're like me and you want to exercise daily, get yourself in the gym, but just be doing all your movements with really, really low weight. I'm talking like 4 kilo, nothing that's going to actually put stress on the muscle and make you feel sore the next day. Just kind of use it as a time to assess your form, get some videos, play around with some different grips. Just say you're on the bench, just use the bar, right? And just play around with the grips, move your elbows around, figure out what works. So when it comes to next week and you plug some more weight on the bar, you're ready to fucking absolutely smash it. That's what I'd say. If you can genuinely just follow those 5 tips, understand the importance of a deload, and implement this and start moving, you will see progress. I guarantee you. There's nothing more I could say on this guide because there is no more technical advice, and it doesn't matter too much about how you lift the bar or whatever. Obviously, just use correct form. Don't try and train like a powerlifter, arching your back and shit. That's just fucking cheating. Let's be honest. But just follow these basic tips, and honestly, I swear to God, you'll get there. That's all it is. You've got your progression structure there. You understand the importance of a deload now. That's what's going to get you stronger in the long term. And you've got your main must-dos. Now, I want to stress one really important thing with tracking every lift. I get this with a few clients, and I always say this, actually. Insanity is defined as doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome. So if you do not track every lift, or if you track every lift and you do the same thing every week, do not expect a different result. You will not get stronger, nor will you grow any muscle if you lift the same thing you lifted last week. So what I want to stress here, as a little take point from this video, is you must increase the intensity, whether it's by a rep or weight, or even if you can't do any of that, the drop set, make the drop set harder, go a bit harder with drop sets to track that, or more reps if you train part, whatever it is, the intensity must increase every week. And as a result, if you do that consistently, you will grow stronger. If you grow stronger, you grow bigger. And as a result, you will go from, let's say, 60 kg to 100 kg bench very, very fucking quickly. So understand that. It's not that hard. You just got to follow these tips. The calorie surplus is really important. The tracking is really important. The sleep, important. I will say, though, your calorie surplus is the must. You can do this in a calorie deficit, but it's significantly harder. If you're eating 3,500 calories and you're benching heavy and you're doing that twice a week and you're sleeping good and you're tracking every lift and you're drop setting and you're stretching to make sure you're using my progression structure, you're deloading, you will get there very, very quickly. Maybe quicker than I did it, because I never knew all of this before. Now I'm just sharing it to you. So use this, save this video, watch it again, share with a friend, put on a fucking wall, do whatever you need to do, but just start implementing. And when you get there, when you actually get to that goal, I want someone to DM me on Instagram. I want someone to put in the comments how it's affected them, and if maybe I'm absolutely right. Who knows? Maybe I'm chatting shit, but I don't think I fucking am. So put this into work and see what happens. But yeah, that's this morning's video. Going to make another one tonight, and yeah, I will see you on the next one, guys. Cheers.